Hi, I'm John Wolpert. I'm the Seeker of Awesomeness for Consensus Labs here in Washington, D.C. Consensus is a company that operates in many countries. We're the largest blockchain company right now in the world by many accounts, and one of the fastest growing software companies in the world, and by many accounts the largest blockchain company in the world. We help businesses start up on the new Internet of Transactions, on the blockchain, and in particular on Ethereum. So I'm here in DC with the team looking for new ventures to get behind, to help bootstrap and to get going faster. We're a new venture development lab. So my experience of the evolution of blockchain, which I think is pretty common, was a number of years ago hearing about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and thinking that was novel and interesting. But I was at IBM at the time working on the Watson team. And that was artificial intelligence and pretty interesting unto itself, so I didn't pay it a lot of attention. Then a few years later, my boss, one of my favorite people at IBM, who's now the head of IBM Blockchain, Jerry Cuomo, called me up and he said, "Hey Louis, it's Clark." And I said, "What do you want, Jerry?" And he said, "Well, there's this thing called blockchain. I mean, we don't know a lot about it, but there's gold in those hills. Go out and find it." And I said, "Well, give me a ship and crew and I'll go investigate." And he said, "Well, I got a canoe, 2 dogs, and a musket." And I said, "Well, okay." And then we got lucky. It turned out that blockchain was we got halfway across the Mississippi and looked over our shoulders and found that there was a wagon train behind us, and now we're running a boom town. And there was definitely there was a there. So we got lucky, and that's how I stumbled into blockchain. Every use case I've seen in industry to date since 2015 that tried to do something with blockchain, that said, "Hey, let's do this on blockchain," has every single one of them has proven why it doesn't need blockchain. And everyone that says, "Hey, let me look at this problem differently through the lens of immutability, of decentralization, of a number of nuanced ideas that are actually packed up into primarily public blockchain technology, especially around token economics and what you can do with this emergent notion of being able to not just gamify human interaction. Gamification is just keeping track of scores, but then turning that into an economic set of decisions, right? I'm going to vote, or I'm going to bet that this fact is true. Well, if the consensus is that it's false, I just lost not just a point, but real economic value in some way, either in money, real money, or some kind of other value, maybe voting points or something else. So it's applying this notion of powerful public blockchain is effectively a high precision instrument for seeing problems differently and then instrumenting them in ways that would have been way too expensive and difficult to do if we had the old rails only, right? We needed a new railway to run these kinds of transactions, one that's more nimble, one that's more precocious, more always available. And once you have that kind of new rails, you have an infrastructure that can allow you to just do things completely differently.